Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself. I'm Stevani Agustin, the Public Sector Accounting Applied Undergraduate Study Program. We'll deliver a presentation material for a thesis seminar entitled Analysis of Financial Performance and its Contribution to Community Welfare at the Tangerang City Government. During the preparation of the thesis, it was inspirable from the direction and guidance of Ms. Diah as Thesis Supervisor 1 and Ms. Hafifah as Thesis Supervisor 2. This material consists of 5 chapters. Chapter 1 is Introduction, Chapter 2 is Theory, Chapter 3 is Research Method, Chapter 4 is Results, and Chapter 5 is Conclusion. Research background. A government is expected to run more effectively in providing services to the community with the implementation of regional autonomy. For the implementation of regional autonomy, local governments are expected to improve financial performance by creating greater independence. Regional independence is expected to be realized as a form of achieving one of the objectives of implementing regional autonomy. State that increasing regional revenue is one of the fiscal instruments in achieving regional financial needs. And however, in practice, the achievement of regional independence in meeting development financing through each PAD is still relatively small compared to transfer income. This can be seen based on data obtained at the Central Statistic Agency on the realization of district or city government revenues throughout Indonesia in 2016 until 2022 in the figure side. The average percentage of PAD in all districts or cities in Indonesia is still below 20% of the total regional income. This illustrates that there are still many regions that depend on financial assistance from the central government to finance development and community empowerment. In measuring the success of government financial performance, financial ratio can be used as material to evaluate the condition and ability of local governments in a period. News was released in addition to stating that the Tangerang City government won the highest PAD realization city award in Indonesia, so that the Tangerang City government is one of the regions that can be used as an example in good regional financial management, especially in improving its PAD. Increasing PAD is one of the unavoidable fiscal instruments in building the economy and welfare of the people in the regions. Thus, there is a relationship between regional income and community welfare. Based on the background description, I formulate the research question as follows. How is the financial performance of the Tangerang City government for the 2020 until 2022 fiscal year measured using regional financial ratio? And then how does the financial performance of the Tangerang City government contribute to the welfare of its people in the 2020 until 2022 fiscal year? And then based on the research question that have been described, the research purposes to be achieved from this research are to analyze the financial performance and the contribution of the Tangerang City government to the welfare of its people based on the financial performance of the 2020 until 2022 fiscal year. As for the research benefits consisting of theoretical benefits and practical benefits, theoretically, this research is expected to provide additional knowledge related to the local financial performance of the Tangerang City government, especially on the management of local regional revenue or PAD in terms of the theory of local financial ratio. And then practically, these research are expected to is one of the materials for evaluating financial performance, identify opportunities to increase regional revenue, and then become a consideration for the central government making a decision related to more effective fiscal policy and financial management. Next is the literature review. The literature review as well Indonesian government system, local autonomy, and financial statement, including definition, component, and analysis. And then regional revenue. Regional revenue is the allocation of revenue received by the Tangerang City government in a certain period. Regional revenue is sourced from local regional revenue, transfer revenue, and other legal revenue. For local financial performance, Hendro 2010 states that local government financial performance is the result of achievements in activity or program in relation to the use of local budgets with measurable amounts contained in financial reports. And then objectives of regional financial performance are knowing the financial condition and ability of local governments to fulfill obligation in providing funds for certain activities or program, and then evaluate the performance of local governments in implementing programs that have been prepared so that decision making can be carried out objectively. Local financial ratio consists of 12 ratios as one shown in the following slide. Start from debt service coverage ratio, anti rasio, tergantungan keuangan daerah. The contribution of PAD for welfare public. Community welfare is an important aspect for the state, especially the government as a basic for government planning and evaluation of efforts to improve the quality of life of its people. The indicators of public welfare consist of four, namely employment, poverty, education, and health. Framework of thinking. The study aims to analyze how the financial performance of the Tangerang City government on the management of PAD and the contribution of the PAD to community welfare. Based on the objectives of this study, the theories that have been explained in previous research studies, the framework of this research is presented in figure. The financial performance analysis is used to get an overview of the results of government administration, which can be illustrated through financial statements that have been prepared by the relevant regional governments. For the analysis of finance performance, the author will look at the side of regional revenue because PAD is very important aspect for local governments. In the context of implementing regional autonomy and fiscal decentralization of local government is expected to be able to increase greater independence. As for measuring the financial performance of the local income gain, researchers use financial ratio analysis consisting of regional financial independence ratio, decentralization degree ratio, regional revenue effectiveness ratio, and then efficiency ratio and growth ratio. Based on the result of these measurements, researchers also want to examine more deeply how PAD contributes to community welfare by using two indicators consisting of employment indicators and poverty indicators. These two indicators are the government's top priorities in improving people's welfare. For research methods, analysis units, sample, and population in this thesis is for the unit of analysis of this research is Tangerang City Government, and then the population in this studies data on the LKPD of the Tangerang City Government for the 2020 until 2022 period, and the research sample used in this study is data on the LRA of the Tangerang City Government for the 2020 until 2022 period. For data collection technique, the type of data that the authors use in this study secondary data using documentation techniques. The documents used are the Tangerang City Government LKPD 2022 until 2022. For operationalization of variables, variable operationalization can be defined as details as the measurements indicators studied with the aim of assisting researchers in measuring each variable. The measurement indicators in this study are listed in the table beside. For local financial ratio, including 5 ratio, starting ratio, KKD, anti-ratio, efficiency PAD, and then for the welfare of society indicators, there have two indicators, poverty and kemiskinan. The next is analysis technique. This research is a quantitative research using descriptive quantitative analysis technique, which establish the concept of calculating financial ratios as a measure of local government financial performance, looking at local regional revenue for the 2020 and 2022 budget year. Next is chapter 4, data description. This research was conducted on the Tangerang City government, which administratively divided the area of Tangerang City into 13 sub-districts. Tangerang City is one of the bigger areas of the state capital of Negeri, Jakarta. The position of Tangerang City makes its growth rapid. And there are a list of budget and realization performance Tangerang City government. This is including PAD, pendapatan transfer, layanan PAD yang sah, and belanja. And the resources is LKPD Pemerintah Kota Tangerang. For list of budget and realization targets, regional expenditure allocation, there are 4 indicators, start from education, health, social, and then ketenaga kerjaan. For 2020 atau 2022, the risk we can see that the data is still growth per period. Next is discussion data. Number 1 is financial regional performance. There is only calculation. There's calculation that I do. The rasio pertumbuhan is still growth, and for the rasio kemandirian keuangan daerah, this is can show that pemerintah Tangerang City government have 92%, and then HD 5.7%, and then HD 9% for rasio kemandirian keuangan daerah. So this is good. And then for rasio derajat desentralisasi, same with the rasio kemandirian keuangan daerah. This is can be growth per period, and also same for rasio aktivitas PAD, so that Tangerang City government have a good financial regional performance. Next is discussion data. 2.2 is community welfare indicators. There is data about TPT, T.P.A.K, and Presentasi penduduk miskin. And upon the open employment rate is a comparison between the number of unemployed population and the total population of the labor force, usually expressed per person. The labor force participation rate, or TPAK, is a comparison between the total population of the labor force with the number of working age population, and is usually expressed in percent. And this is a chapter 5, including conclusion, implication, research limitation, and recommendation. For conclusion, this research is the financial performance of the Tangerang City government is said to be quite good after reviewing the regional financial ratio, with the average achieved good measurements scale results. And the government allocates spending to four indicators of public welfare, and the allocation of expenditure continues to increase. For implication, the result of this study are expected to be considered by the Tangerang City government to improve food performance and optimize other performance. For research limitation, the study only used secondary data in analyzing the contribution of financial performance to public welfare, and then the study only analyzed their years, namely 2020 and 2022, where this year there was a COVID-19 pandemic. For recommendation, one thing is further researchers are expected not only to use secondary data but also to use primary data such as interviewing communities or city government leaders regarding financial performance and their contribution to the community. And then further researchers can analyze financial performance as well as its contribution in the period before COVID and during COVID, and can also analyze the period during COVID and after COVID. So that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.